Welcome to the Scottish Interior Podcast. I'm Declan, a social media manager with a passion for interiors.
And I'm Michelle, an interior designer with my own company called Interiors45.
Together, we're here to chat all things Scottish interiors, design trends, styling tips, and the projects that keep us busy. Now, let's get into today's episode. So, Michelle, here we go.
We're back.
Episode 7.
I know. Amazing. We've had a wee couple of weeks off and it's great to be back.
It has been good. It's been good. It's been...
Busy.
Busy.
I've got to say one thing to you. Your wee face is looking shiny and glowy.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I was actually at my skin guru, Sharon Cameron, Advanced yesterday. She gave me a nice treatment and I was just sitting there like taking an hour out of my day just to zone out and I'm feeling amazing. So
yeah. And where are you going tomorrow morning?
I'm flying off to Spain, so down to Andalusia.
Living the dream. Living the dream. So before you go, we have to get some work done. Yeah. So
absolutely. Let's just go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
Today is a really, really exciting episode and I'm so buzzing. How are you feeling?
Great. Yeah. I'm excited to be nosy and find out all of the backstage information.
Delve right into the nitty gritty.
Yes. Let's do it.
So today we are so thrilled to have a very special episode. We have an interior design master special episode.
Yep. And it's not Alan Carr, so he's not coming in.
It's not Alan Carr or Michelle.
Or Michelle. I'll just have to do with this, Michelle. Yeah.
So we've got two of the breakout stars from the show and they're from here right in the heart of Glasgow.
Yeah.
So it makes it all the more fun and exciting. So without further ado, let's introduce Victoria and Ese to the podcast.
Hello, thank you very much for having us.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Very exciting.
How have you been? How's your week? You must be in this bubble of...
It's just, too much is happening at the same time. Yeah, so you're just like constantly checking your phone, responding to messages, checking comments, posting. But yeah, it's been fun.
Love it.
It's a whirlwind. It's a whole whirlwind again because we had it all last year because it was filmed last year and then it's all kind of coming to fruition now. But yeah, I'm terrible at replying to messages at the best of times. So the pressure is on, but it's good. It's fab.
Amazing. But you'll need to tell us, we need to get to know you. So if you can give us just a whistle-stop tour of your careers before you hit the big screen, that would be great. And we'll start with you, Ese.
Yeah. I grew up in Nigeria. Always been in healthcare my entire life. So I currently work in sexual health and I project manage. So it's been an interesting experience moving to a different country, learning a new culture, new experience, and then falling in love with interior design and then changing career just kind of halfway through getting settled in a new country. So yeah, it's been exciting.
It's been exciting. Well, I know about changing careers into interior design. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Victoria?
I am a country bumpkin. I was born and raised into a working dairy farm in the outskirts of Glasgow. And from there, I kind of fell into a couple of different jobs and then I've been at my current place of employment for 13 years now. Worn many hats along the way. So I started as the managing director and the chairman's personal assistant.
Wow.
And then just kind of worked up my way through the ranks from there. And kind of found a love for interior design during lockdown when we were doing a huge big project for our head office. And in tandem at the same time, I moved into my own flat in the West End of Glasgow and just had the best time doing it up. Didn't have anybody to answer to in terms of like decisions and things and just absolutely fell in love with it.
Lockdown just had a lot to
I know,
answer
it
for because I was the exact same. I was just like, I'm going to go for it. And I think we all did. And it allowed me at that time to steer away from the norm or and just go crazy and be a bit bold and present. So
I know, we always look back at it as been a really harrowing, negative time, and it was for a lot of people, but actually some really good things.
I had a ball. Well. I loved it.
It's like, lockdown. It's like I had so many weird ideas. It's like I remember picking up like vintage ladders from people's houses in the West End to decorate my flat because I was going for like a rustic vibe. So yeah, it was fun.
Well, that's interesting because we've seen obviously clips of your flat and stuff in the West End. It looks beautiful, but really keen to find out what your sort of personal styles would be. So what about you, Ese? What's your
my style tends to be organic, sort of nature inspired, or stuff that just feels like it's grown like out of, just that organic feeling. I like spaces that feel relatable. I feel like this is where Vicky compliments me. It's like Vicky is the bling, and then I'm like more, like comfort, sort of a space you can just feel immediately at home in. And the other thing is just I like spaces that feel like you can, regardless of your price point, you can get something out of good design. So that's me.
Fantastic.
And Victoria, you like who's the top people that's influenced you in your?
Oh, good question. I actually throughout the application process they asked us who inspired us, who our favourite interior designers were, and I had a proper fangirl moment about Sophie Robinson. Chatting away. Little did I know, Sophie Robinson's brother, Edward, was sitting on the judging panel, and I was like, oh, and if I ever bump into her, then I just don't know what I would say. And he just like kept complete deadpan the whole time, so that was good. So I've made a wee bit of a fool of myself at that point, but I love what she does. I love all her colours, her patterns, her pattern clashes and things like that, so she definitely inspires me. And I love the fact that she's really real as well. Like everything that she posts on social media is just her. It's obviously very well managed and everything, but she just comes across as herself. And I think to be able to sell yourself as a designer, you need to be real. I think that's a very big part of it. And as long as people can understand what I'm saying, which was a struggle when we were filming, hopefully that helps.
Oh yeah, amazing.
And your style was contemporary luxe.
Contemporary luxe, yeah. So
that was the buzzword.
Exactly that. They gave me that style, and I was like, oh, I don't know if that's me. But then the more that I thought of it, I was like, yeah, no, actually there is a bit, because it was contemporary bit I wasn't entirely sure of. But really, when I break down what I've done in my own property as well as the office, I was like, yeah, there is old meets new, and there's always a wee bit of brass and a wee bit fancy, but kind of on a budget as well. So yeah, it's a bit me.
My fangirl moment would have been when Lawrence came in to judge. I'd have been like, yay! Yeah. So how was it? How was he? Did you get to meet him, speak to him?
I can just imagine he would be exactly.
He had the exact same, like what you see on TV going on.
Yeah. And his hair and he smelled amazing as well, because he was so warm, because he gave us all a cuddle.
And is he quite tall? And I feel he's got that kind of aura about him. That he's just quite
it felt like he was in charge. There was a time he was looking at us through the glass when we were in the green room, but he couldn't see us because he couldn't see from that side. So we're all just like staring at him. Why is he staring at us? And then he was just there, like just stood like this, and we were like, oh my God, is he judging us already without even seeing the rooms?
The answer was yes. Yes, he was.
Yeah. But he did say this was like, what did I say earlier? The class of, it was like this group were really elite, your group that you were part of, which was obviously a challenge then. Yeah. So what else are you going to tell us, like behind the scenes? Like, we're nosy, come on.
So let us know, just like take us back to like even like the application and getting yourselves or getting that call. How was it all? What did you take from that?
I think the most interesting part was like when we had, because you do all of the written applications, you do a video. I remember like taking a video in the hallway, setting the plans, doing everything. And I just thought, oh, this is not me. So I just took my selfie camera and just walked from the living room to the kitchen, took a 2-minute video, sent it. And I thought, they'll never call me back. Yeah. Literally like 5 minutes later, I got the call back. Really? And I was like, are you sure you didn't miss call someone? So yeah, it was just very interesting. It's like throughout the process, they just made you feel like you were already a designer. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're like trying to say, oh, I'm just trying to see if interior design is for me. They're like, so tell us about what you would do if you are. And I'm like, okay, so they really think we know what we're doing. So maybe let's pretend a little bit. So yeah, it was just fun.
I just look at it and it does seem like, especially when you're not a designer. Yeah. Sorry, Michelle, I know you're a designer. But
it's okay.
I feel that a lot of it seems very overwhelming.
Definitely, and I think you automatically, as a junior designer, exactly as you say, Essie, when they start, so the production company start referring to you as the designers, or you are the designer, you're like, me? Are you sure?
Yeah.
And I think you do doubt yourself because I'm a diehard fan of the TV show, and having watched it for years, I think, I couldn't do that. And how would I display my ideas? I know what I would like to achieve in my head, but it's getting it down onto paper to really detail exactly what you want. So if you're away doing a wee bit with Alan Carr when you're filming, you still need progress to be happening. So you're like, how do I make this as clear as possible? I don't know if I can, but let's just try anyway. And just to try and get a bit of personality across as well. But it was daunting, and it all just happened so quickly. As Essie said, once your application was in, the casting team were on it and they wanted to do a call with you. I'd applied a couple of years ago and wasn't successful, so didn't really expect anything to come of it this year. But yeah, it was very, very, very lucky. And then we got asked down to London, didn't we, to go and meet
for the interview process. It's like on the flight to London, actually no, on the train to London, got to Shepherd's Bush, ran into the office, did my presentation, didn't even stop to say goodbye, ran back out of the office, straight on the train back to Glasgow at midnight.
Exactly. I know, it was mad. And I think we must have just completely missed each other by minutes.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know each other.
They planned it so well.
Yeah. So we live literally a 3-minute walk from each other.
Oh my God.
We've never crossed paths before. And then I've been on this mad journey together since.
That is mind-blowing, eh?
It is.
Yeah, it's fab.
I think the thing is, as you're saying about junior designers or people that's not their job, but actually we've looked at the application form, and the application form asks for examples of your work and examples of designs that you've done, and what's the proudest design you've got, whatever. And it made us think how, if you've not been a designer, how do you have these things? Yeah. So did you have examples that you had on your form then?
So I took images from my flat, and then I took images from the office that I work from as well. So I was very lucky. I used some amazing products throughout. Carndine Flooring is one of them, and they wanted to use the building as a case study. So I had access to professional photos from them, because I'm terrible at taking pictures. I feel like I just don't do it justice at all. So I was very fortunate in that regard. And then I had before and afters of kind of projects I ran with in work as well. So from that stance, I was lucky. I had far less the first time around. Yeah. But wee quirky bits from your house and things like that to show how you can kind of pull materials and colours together, I think. But you're dead right. It's hard to prove what you're capable of if you're not a designer. Yeah.
But then that might also be a wee bit of a trick as well, because they might not want somebody who's got case after case after case after case, because then they're already established, really.
Too polished.
Yeah. So it might be something that they're helping you to
They want
develop,
people who are still at the start of that process. And just like yourself, it was a friend's house I did. The only project I'd done that was a full flat renovation, or not sort of interior design work, not full renovation. So I had to use some of the furniture he had, and then sort of add wall coverings and drapery and all of that stuff. So that's why I put in. But because I'm doing a degree as well, I was able to use some of my projects from, so it was mostly all 3D projects, but not full real. So they are kind of helping us at that beginning point, which I think is the most.
Essie, I loved the bit. I
know the bit you're going to talk about.
No, leave that bit for later. No, it was right at the very beginning when you first get introduced on screen, and you were just like, so I've learned that I just need to stop telling my friends how to decorate the home.
Yeah, up until last week, one of my friends said to me, was like, why is it that when I tell you I know what I want for my house, you don't trust me? And I was like, oh God, I'm doing it again. I just can't help myself. It's like when I walked in here, I started touching the table and just be like, oh, this is a very nice design. You just go into places and it takes over. You don't even notice you're doing it.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that people start asking you. I'm sure everybody will now start saying, what do you think? So what do you think? And you have to be quite diplomatic on some occasions. No. Clearly you're not, but no, just redecorate, let's do that. But yeah, it's has that made you more confident in applying?
Yeah, it definitely has. Because I think when you see that page on the application process, you just go, oh my God.
Do it. You've got it, why not?
I know.
Yeah.
And
I've said this, I've had this conversation for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I keep saying, I'm going to do it. So
Why not?
Watch this face.
And the thing is as well, see when I applied beforehand and didn't get in, I watched the series that I'd hoped to be part of. I was like, oh thank goodness. There's no way I would have been able to like stand up against the guys that were part of it that year. I mean, this year was very, very tough as well, wasn't it? But
it seems to be.
I think, just believe in yourself. What have you got to lose? Go for it.
Well, he committed last year when we were on Ideal Home Show stage. He committed there, so.
I know.
I was going to say nobody will know, but you've told everybody, so.
She listened to the last, my last reel, talking about if you don't do it, what's the worst that could happen? You might as well just try.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, what was your most memorable moment from the show?
It's like, I think my most memorable moment obviously would be the judgment moment. But if I took that aside, I would say the moment that really, really shook me was when I found out I'd run out of fabric. Because I had started making my curtains, and I can remember I was in the house before coming on the show. I called the company to be like, I think you sent me more fabric than I needed. Can I send back 5 meters? And they're like, oh, it would take about a few days for us to get that process. I was like, I'll just do it after I finished filming episode 1. And I showed up and I found out I didn't even have enough fabric. So I'm like, gosh, I'm glad I did not send back the 5 meters.
So do you get a budget to work with?
And yes, very strict.
And then you have to stick to that.
Yeah, and you need to detail it exactly where you've got everything from.
Hence why you're saying I might send some of that
exactly
back
to get some money back to do something
back.
else. Yeah,
it's super strict. And if you can't justify where you've got something from, you cannot use it in your design. So if you found something, sitting there, nope. Unless you have a receipt or you have a picture of what skip you've taken it from, then you can't use it.
Yeah.
So it's fair.
Wow. And how long? So obviously the first episode was in the hostel.
Yeah.
And how long then do you get, from start to finish, when you get the brief of what you're doing and then you actually do the
design
install?
Yeah.
How long do you
It's just a week.
Just a week.
Yeah.
You get given your brief and you get given a week and then it's you have to come up with your designs technically in 2-3 days, because you have to present it to the design production team for them to be able to know that works.
Yeah.
To then say, okay, you can go ahead with. So then you have to spend the remaining 3-4 days buying everything you need. It was quite a stressful process to me.
Yeah. And can we ask what the budget was?
So first episode was £1,200.
And you spent that on a dressing table.
All right. Well, I actually got it at Marketplace. I think it cost me about 15 quid. Yes, I did buy a dressing
Well, it's possible to spend 1,200 quid on just a table. But that's
temporary lux.
She asked to see my signature sale. That's what I did.
She did. Amazing. And then obviously you've got all of the people there, the decorators and all that kind of stuff. So, and that's as we see, or is there more people, or is that it?
No, that's it. So
Sorry, I think you're assigned your little team.
So as part of this stage that Essie was talking about there, when you're chatting through your ideas to the design team, they'll then match you up with their tradespeople that they know would be able to hit that on the nail on the head. So the stripes on my ceiling, the decorator I worked with, Liv, God bless her, that was a lot of work I gave her. She had put in her kind of bio when she was applying to be part of the show that she was great with masking tape and things like that. Definitely regretted that in her bio. So that's why I get teamed up with her.
And that's incredible as well. So these guys have to obviously apply too, from the trades perspective.
Yeah. I think there was a massive drive this year of having more diversity in with the trades, because primarily it was a kind of male focused tradespeople working with all of the designers. So Liv was one of the new ones and she was just fantastic. She was a massive fan as well, so she'd been talking for years about applying, and then she got to work on it as one of the trades. So she was fab.
Brilliant. So are we going to talk about Essie's wardrobe? Is that next?
The elephant in the
quite literally. See, I love that wardrobe. It's obviously it's massive, but I was going for the idea of I'm not just going to cater to the weekend person who is coming to use here. I want the weekend person as well as the person who wants to spend 2 weeks hiking across the Lake District.
And so 4 pieces of luggage for them.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm you know what? Once you took out the wardrobe, the first thing you see when you walk into the room is that ugly sink. And no one really wants to walk in. I know it's a hostel, but you don't want to walk in and be like, oh, there's a sink in the bedroom. How nice. So the wardrobe kind of block start, as well as giving that extra storage space. I just wish it was like 2 inches smaller, and then you can justify, the judge's critique. But no.
So did you buy the wardrobe?
No, so that was built from scratch. Okay. And the reason it was is because of the top. I wanted it to sort of follow that shape of the window. And I just couldn't find anything that will. So I had to build everything. My carpenter I think she worked on that for like the entire 2 days straight.
Again, she would hate you.
Yeah. Can't find her on Instagram. I think she must have blocked me.
Michelle did say she liked the edging on your curtains, though. That was nice.
Yeah,
that was a nice compliment.
That's the only. I think that's the only thing that came out from my previous tailoring skills.
Brilliant. I mean, I thought your room was lovely, but and the feedback was obviously like it was just too much of your personality. But obviously we've only seen episode 1, so episode 2, we've got more exciting things to come.
Yeah, lots of exciting things. So going into episode 2, I felt as if like the cards were stacked against me. I felt like I had so much to prove, and also it's what I do day in, day out is work for a self-storage company. And we've also got an arm of the business that has got office spaces. So I felt like the pressure was well and truly on. Because I was like, you should be able to do that.
Boss this.
I know, but then I thought I was absolutely going to boss the first one, but that didn't work in my favour. I felt the pressure was well and truly on. So this challenge in week 2 was to convert a storage container into an office that was suitable for 4 people to work from. So it's a really awkward, long, narrow space to try and get people in. And I wanted to separate the spaces, not quite as literally as the last time, to have like a kind of reception area, a kind of like co-working area, and then separate meeting space, working space at the back. So I was trying to like work outside the box, and a big part of the challenge was like upcycling, recycling, and trying to look at things differently. It was a big sustainability push on this one.
Yep.
So the budget was even tighter again.
Wow.
And we were encouraged to skip dive and like go down back lanes and things like that to see what you could find. So not exactly contemporary looks. But it's amazing what you'll do when you just have to. And you're given
I'm so excited to see. And sadly we said goodbye to you on episode 1.
Yeah.
But you done us proud.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I feel like it was a very good experience to be part of, because as much as, when I'm watching the show, I'm thinking, oh my God, like, why would they do this? Don't they know that doesn't work? And then you realize when you're on it, it's actually so much pressure and so much stress. And then also you learn so much because you're basically, like we're saying, it's like you get to show your love of design, but you get to learn project management, budget management. So you learn to know how to walk around the media, which is also another interesting one, having people constantly record you whilst you're working and ask you to repeat everything 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So it was fun. I'm looking forward to seeing because I don't know what the guys have done since then.
And from a social media perspective, you're still going to be creating the briefs as you would?
Well, so I was going to be creating the briefs, but I decided not to do that because I thought, you know what? And actually, I only made this decision on Monday, Tuesday. I want the other guys to have their, it's their moments. I've had my moments and it's come to an end. But also there's a next stage for me now. I want to focus on, getting that going.
Absolutely.
Amazing. And is Alan Carr as funny as we see? Yeah.
He's fab. It was a lovely kind of break in the pressure because each contestant have a set Alan moment. So you're pulled away from like frantically painting and wallpapering and things to go and do something a wee bit more fun with him. So that was always great. Yeah. But as to Essie's point with like being followed about with a camera, they were very kind in their edit, weren't they? Like, and I think that is there's a lot to be said for TV that doesn't want to make a fool of you. Because there's plenty of things that happen during that week of filming that nobody will ever see, and it'll only be the 10 of us that know what
we're the only ones who know how many buckets of tears. I was surprised when there were no tears throughout, because I felt like I was crying throughout that episode.
I wasn't going to mention it.
But Alan, he is a national treasure, isn't he?
Fab.
He's just incredible. And how was Michelle like?
I know,
you love Michelle.
I love
Michelle
Michelle.
and Michelle.
Yeah, She
just floats. She floats around about the place.
And those-
She's immaculately
those
turned
dresses.
out. I know.
Oh.
I know. Although Alan and Michelle get hair and makeup, and we're just flung in at the deep end. And if you look rough, nobody's going to tell you that. You just have to deal with it.
Well, we do get makeup. It's called B&Q paint. Put that on your face and show up.
But it must be true, like you say about the edits, because I'm addicted to Married at First Sight Australia.
Yeah.
And like obviously when those contestants come off, they say like how badly they were edited and all that kind of stuff, and that would be like a nightmare. Whereas at least you know on that show you're quite secure in how they're going to edit you.
Exactly.
Which is quite nice. Which is unheard of in a lot of kind of reality type programs.
Definitely. And all the production team were so supportive throughout as well, because it was like, it is a lot. You don't realise, you see all the happy moments and things when things are going right, but there's a whole lot that goes wrong behind the scenes as well. And they're there to say, look, you'll be fine. Just keep going. Just keep going. Because you do have strict time constraints as well. Even if you're having a meltdown, it doesn't mean to say you get an extra day to make it happen. If you don't finish, you don't finish, and that's it. So, but everybody round about. And we had a welfare producer as well, and she was great. So, big shout out to Becca. She made sure that we had snacks and water and things like that.
Never eaten that much chocolate bars or drank that much water in my life, because I don't drink a lot of water normally. And Becca is like showing up, it's like, here's your bottle. You have to, like, you literally have to drink the water in front of her. She was amazing.
That's good.
Oh,
and did you? Like, I know you obviously never got to that stage, but did you get to the stage where you were working alongside another designer?
Yeah,
and doing the same space? Because that always seems to be a bit of a bone of contention for people, and they get a bit stressed.
Exactly. Yeah, I was really, really lucky. I think I like to talk about it. So I got paired up with Bradley.
Oh.
So it was the Scott and the Scouse working together, and we had an amazing time together. We worked on a retirement apartment, a luxury retirement apartment together. So we had a bedroom each. We collaborated on a living room and kitchen space, and also the hallway. So we could really put our stamp on it, and we created like a wee story who it was for. And yeah, it was fab. Bradley and I got on like a house on fire.
Love
and
that.
It was just, it's such a happy episode to look back on in my mind anyway. I don't know how it's edited, but we had such a laugh, and like after the first day of filming, we still had a wee bit of budget left, so we went to the big Tesco to try and get like vases and flowers and things. That was going to be a better option. And we just like, we got a fit of the giggles, and we were standing with it, like my pink dungarees on, covered in paint, hair all sticking about, just crying with laughter at nothing. But we were so delirious and so tired. But it was just, it was great. I think we worked really, really well together. So,
and were your styles complementary to each other?
I think so. Yeah. I think it worked really well. We like the same colours and things like that. He loves a stripe too, so that's handy.
Oh.
And yeah, I think we did well.
Because that is normally the issue, isn't it? And they're kind of like aggro with each other.
Yeah.
It's like we're not, and they always say obviously it needs to look like it's been designed by one person, not two different people. So that's interesting.
And when you've only got a week to do it, like
Absolutely, it's pressure's on.
difficult.
Yeah.
But great.
So we're not seeing you on the sofa this week, hopefully.
I hope not. No, thank goodness. It's not a nice place to be.
Oh, I can imagine.
No, you're just like, don't cry, it's all fine. Because that was the one thing my dad said to me before filming. He's like, right, Vicky, speak slowly. Try not to be too high pitched. Please don't cry. I was like, okay, no problem.
Well, coming from a farming community, you'll need a strong backbone.
Strong backbone, exactly that.
Definitely. So we're going to do quickfire.
I think we're at the part of the podcast that is my favourite.
It is always your favourite, yep.
So we're going to ask you guys 5 questions, and I just wanted to use to give one word quickfire answer.
Okay.
And see if you actually get any of it aligned.
Okay.
So we've actually gave this a wee name, this section, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Masters Uncut.
Masters Uncut.
Ooh,
Masters Uncut.
okay.
Okay, so from episode 1, most stressful moment.
Having no stripes on the ceiling at the start of day 2.
Most stressful moment, carrying my wardrobe to the room. Took 5 people.
Did it?
Yeah?
5 people, oh my God. That should have told you how big it was.
Favourite space?
Favorite space. Rita's.
Which one was Rita's? What did that look
Ooh,
like?
dark, moody.
Yes.
Space.
Dark grey paint.
Standout space.
Yeah, standout
Yes.
space.
Oh, the standout one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was lovely.
Yeah.
I loved Craig's. I thought everything was so well put together, even like all the wee styling elements afterwards, because we managed to run round and have a nosy before the cameras saw it, and I was just like, oh my goodness, he thought of everything, even like vintage suitcases above his bunks and things like that. It was very well executed.
It was done well. I love
Yeah.
that bit. Funniest memory?
Standing with Bradley in Tesco crying at the smell of flowers.
Funniest memory for me would be after we filmed first day, week 1, when we all got back to the hotel and we all sat together, but none of us could say anything because we were so exhausted. So we're just staring at each other for minutes. None of us said a word.
Absolute shock.
Yeah.
And the hotel was sketchy as well, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
So just give me wine.
Copious amounts of wine.
Yeah.
No, that was a good fight.
And a dream future project.
Oh, I would love, actually probably one of the projects you're working on just now, that £1 million house just sounds amazing. A lot of work. I would love to do the residential stuff, but the commercial projects for so many more people to come in and appreciate and pass through, I think would be my dream, because you get your name out there, or maybe not even your name, but at least your style out there for so many more people to see and appreciate and enjoy the space.
Yep.
For me, it would be a Georgian house. I've always wanted to live in a Georgian house. And just that idea of, especially because most of them have been done up wrongly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bring it back to what it's supposed to look like.
Oh, they're great answers,
No,
aren't
they were great. I think that's been the best quickfire round.
they? I know, but we didn't do this or that. We were kind.
And we're thrilled to announce that the Scottish Interior Podcast is proudly sponsored by Tyrrell's Home Furnishings.
With over 90 years of experience, Tyrrell's specialise in all things home furnishings, from flooring and carpets to upholstery, living, bedroom and dining furniture. Their commitment to quality, value and exceptional service has made them a trusted name in the industry.
A huge thank you to Tyrrell's Home Furnishings for supporting the podcast, bringing style, comfort and inspiration to homes across Scotland.
I think that's the one thing to kind of take away from it as well. Like even for yourself, Essie, like going into that one project, that's just not real life.
No.
Having to turn around a space in that amount of time on such a small budget, like you wouldn't do it in a room in your own home.
No.
So yeah, it's dramatic. It's a massive learning curve. It was an amazing experience, but it's not real life.
Yeah, absolutely. In a
Absolutely,
nutshell.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
How much you must have learned. What an opportunity. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
What is next for you, Essie?
Next for me, so I have 2 more years on my interior design bachelor's degree. So finish that up. Along the line, I'm working on a few sort of consulting projects as well, sort of picking up more industry experience. And then I've just recently started making ceramics, so making interior decorative pieces, sculptural pieces for interiors. So I'm launching a line of that later this year. So really looking forward to that.
Wow, that's so exciting. And yourself,
Oh,
Victoria?
good question. Everything's happening at the same time. So last night my flat went on the market. So if anybody would like a lovely 1-bedroom flat in the West End,
Beautifully decorated.
beautifully
decorated,
decorated. I'm expecting my first baby.
Oh my God, congratulations.
So, it's all go at the same time. I would love to explore the interior side of things more further. But I also know I'm super lucky and been given all these opportunities in my current workplace as well. So yeah, it's all go. I've got a beautiful home that I'm moving to that's I'm ready to put my own stamp on as well, which is exciting. So yeah, it's all go. It's all very exciting, but there's lots on the go.
I can imagine.
But I think that everybody that's gone on, regardless of how they've done in the show, everybody gets opportunities from it.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
Is just,
Absolutely.
which is lovely. And it's good that they support you after the show as well. But yeah, we talked earlier, obviously off camera, that we know Banjo and I think like people that have done like so well, and Paul Moneypenny who has now got his own wallpaper range and all that kind of stuff. It's just amazing to see that people get all those opportunities and they're
It's
real.
such a great platform to
Yeah.
advance where you want to go in
Exactly.
the interior world.
Exactly that, and just having the gumption to put yourself out there as well. I think even after this process, you still, like I know for sure, I still doubt my abilities, but I think it's just thinking, you can do this. You have proved yourself. Like, don't hold yourself back kind of thing.
You're a designer. So yeah, it's been so great having you on, guys. Lastly, before we say goodbye to you, what piece of advice would you give to an aspiring designer?
I think believe in yourself. I think you don't need to have a massive budget to make a massive difference in a space as well. And I think as long as you're clever with mixing maybe wee expensive elements or an expensive wallpaper, but only having like a small section of it. I did a wee bit of that in my flat on the ceiling because I couldn't afford it for all the walls. You can make a real massive impact on not a lot of cash. Yeah. So don't let tight budget constraints like £1,200 kind of hold you back, and give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? You can buy a tin of white paint if it's an absolute disaster.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's it. Just
I love that.
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
My advice would be believe interior design is a very valuable, whether career, business, because I think a lot of people still see it as, oh, don't you just buy cushions and sofas and curtains? Exactly. It's like, and then they forget the art and the science behind it and how much knowledge you need to have. And I think that makes some people shy away because they think, like, for example, for me, it's like where I'm from, interior design, if you say that, they'll be like, oh, you want to be a homemaker? So it's like, I never really thought it was something I could do, but now I'm much more knowledgeable of, this is an actual vocation. So don't downplay your ability and what it actually takes to be an interior designer.
Well, yes, have been a joy to watching the show, and you are just right in Glasgow. So I'm so excited to see the rest of your journey. Yeah. So whilst talking about journeys, please plug your social medias so that our followers and listeners.
Just my name on Instagram is victoria.scott, and I'm the same on Facebook as well.
And mine is Johnson _essay_. So it's JOHNSON _ESE_. So
yours is so much more complicated.
I know.
We're going to need to have a sit down and get that changed.
Bring that through.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.